Hello, I'm Tony.
Hi, I'm Louie.
And this is Talking During the Movie.
It's the Talking During the Movie podcast with your hosts, Louis Gravance and Tony Whitten.
And this week, we've got Oscar fever.
Oscar, everybody loves Oscar.
Fever! 102 people. Alrighty, so this is an interesting year, and we have a special guest. Now, Louis, you brought this over. Why don't you describe to our audience what this is?
Well, in 7th grade, I was in art class, and I was deeply in love with Ali McGraw, and I was so upset that she did not win the Academy Award for Love Story that I dedicated an entire quarter to creating an Oscar to send, because I thought she was robbed. And so I created this, and then my mother wouldn't let me send it. So I've had it now for, I don't know, a long time. And I've seen her performance in the film not that long ago, and it's just crap. I don't know what, I was just a child. So it's a good thing. But so now it's just going to sort of anchor our show today.
That's terribly sweet and sad all at the same time, Louis.
What's sad about it?
Well, that one, your mom wouldn't let you send it, and then when you watch it later, and then you go, "Oh, I must have been some crazy deranged child."
It's just a kid, you know.
But you spent a lot of time on this, obviously.
I did, but anyway, enough about it.
Okay.
No, it's just, and it's gone with me everywhere. Anyway.
Oh well, it's remarkably well done.
Well, for like an 11-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. For an 11-year-old, I mean, the proportions are fairly good. So, yay. So, well, thank you for decorating. Excellent. All righty. So, this year, is there anywhere you want to start in particular? We've got our notes here, and we're ready to just dive right into the Oscar race this year.
Full disclosure, I have seen every one of the films except for I did not see The Revenant because I won't. And I did not see 45 Years because where the hell was
it playing? Yes.
But everything else I saw.
I think it's playing at one of our local art house, but like after the Oscars. So you won't have a chance to see it. Well, I did see The Revenant, so I will cover that bridge.
I won't.
All right, we'll discuss it because it's nominated for the most this year. 12 Oscar nominations for The Revenant. Probably more than it needs to be. But they seem to like...
Really?
Well, Oscars always seem to have like their favorites, and then they nominate them for editing and costume design and cinematography and things like that. But I'm like, there's probably some other movie that has no other quality for Oscars except maybe cinematography. But I feel like they seem to fill it with the big movies, the tentpoles.
I think you're ignoring the elephant in the room.
What's that?
How Jada Pinkett Smith feels about all of this and how she's going to take our show and that we're not boycotting and that's the whole deal, the elephant in the room.
Well, here's the thing though. Just like Ali McGraw lived a full life without ever receiving your wonderful gift, I think Jada Pinkett Smith will be all right if this somehow does not get to her eyes and ears.
But it's bigger than Jada.
Yes.
Who shouldn't say anything because I saw her in Magic Mike 2 this year, and she should not be calling attention to any of this. But anyway.
It is interesting. I don't know if we're the best people to speak on the extreme Caucasianness of the acting categories. But I suppose it...
I have a theory.
You have a theory. Oh, boy. Just don't get us in trouble.
I might, but I'm gonna try not to. My theory is...
Louis' opinions are his own. Not the
my theory
expressions of the company.
Come on,
Tony. No, go ahead.
Have both been actors for large entertainment conglomerates. Mm-hmm. So you know that you vote for the company you work for a lot, and that colors the voting. We always forget that,
so to speak.
You know what you vote for.
Well, you hire who you know.
Disney would Disney people are going to vote for Disney people. The Universal people are going to vote for Universal people.
It's what you know.
It works a little bit like that.
Yes.
And to that point, also, we know that actors are some of the most liberal people. So I don't think it's like, look, anybody that gave Halle Berry an Academy Award for acting cannot have a hard time with black people. Okay?
She was excellent in Monsters.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, anyway. But my point is...
I'll leave it up to you to decide if it was the best performance that year, but she was excellent.
Some child is probably creating an Academy Award right now to send it to her. But anyway, I don't think that they have prejudice against African Americans. It's that they have a prejudice for. certain people like drug they can't get off. You know, like it's not that they had a thing against the director of Creed. It's just that they have such a thing for Steven Spielberg. It's not that they were against the makers of Straight Outta Compton. It's just that they got such a thing for Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
And I think that's, and I don't think that they've helped themselves by expanding the nominations. I think that they've watered down the nominees
For Best Picture.
Yeah, I don't think that they brought people in. I think it's...
Well, there always seems to be one that makes everyone go, huh? Like early on it was Incredibly Loud and Extremely Close. Everyone just went, what? Why was that nominated?
But there are some...
It was a head scratcher.
This year there were some incredible films by African Americans that you could say this year, okay, yeah. But the problem is not that they're not awarding African American films. It's that they're not making them and they're not marketing them. Because Dope was one of the best 5 mil films I saw this year out of the 83 that I saw. And they couldn't sell it. And it's not nominated, and it should be because it's filled with future stars. So the problem is, and the crap that they make.
There's a lot of crap
for the audience.
Right.
Which is almost cynical.
So it's probably a combination.
It is a combination.
It's a combination of one.
Hollywood
it's not being made. Hollywood is not making these movies that expand other cultures, other.
Some of the worst
stories
trash that is being made for African American audiences is being made by African Americans.
Well, everyone's going to make bad. I don't think that's...
No, I think there's a sort of... Have you seen a Medea film?
I have not.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Well, I don't think that's it. I think it's that one. I don't know if it's necessarily being passed over in favor of one. It's just
I think there's a condescension to the audience.
You vote what you know, and there just isn't that much being made. So maybe there should be an effort to say, like, we've seen this movie before. Have we got anything?
But there's excellent films about and for African Americans that aren't being seen. This is my point. There's some really...
And not getting the recognition they deserve.
Like Fruitvale Station, a remarkable film and one of the best films that year.
Hardly
Nobody had anything to say about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Interesting. All right.
I'm sure we all feel better now.
Well, shall we get into what
Please.
At least what we were served, then we can go down the list. All right, let's just start with Best Actor. You didn't see the leading contender,
but Leo's going to get it.
He's going to get it,
and well deserved because I love Leo. I just didn't want to watch him suffer anymore. I just cannot.
He's got a great body of work, so I think part of it's going to be this, but he basically grunted for like 90% of the movie. So maybe it was just the filming conditions that kind of helped. Like
that's the star of the movie, and that's why one of the things that turned me off so incredibly to seeing it.
Yeah, Leonardo's going to win. So these other guys are fine. I'm sure. Matt Damon. I don't know why Matt Damon was nominated for The Martian.
There's a couple people on that list that have no. You know what? I'm sorry. Bryan Cranston is a great actor.
He's wonderful,
but. That was not that's a highly mediocre film.
It does seem like Trumbo was a bit of a reach. So, but yeah, question mark. All right, so no.
It's a shame that Michael Jordan's not on there from
Michael B. Jordan for Creed,
or any there's
a few names you could throw out there and go like, yeah, that would be equally well. But with what we got, it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, let's move on to Best Actress. Now, you have seen all of these except 45 Years. Do you have an opinion?
Well, I think it's going to be Brie Larson because that seems to be the trend, and that's fine. I really loved Cate Blanchett.
Yes.
In Carol, and that would be who I voted for. But I think more than likely it's going to be Brie Larson.
I think it's going to be Brie Larson too.
Is Room.
Yes.
It's an amazing.
And she was great in it. Yes. So I don't know if Room itself is Best Picture nomination. We'll get to that in a little bit.
It's a special motion picture.
But she was really good in it, and she's relatively young. So hopefully more will come out of that. But yeah, I think we're going to agree on Brie Larson as well. Yay! All right, we're clipping along here. All right, moving on. Best Supporting Actor. Now there's a lot of. It could go anywhere. I know I have my favorite, but what do you think?
It's going to go to Sly. That's the way it's going to roll. This
is
Hollywood, and that's how it rolls.
But
it's a Hollywood story.
But everyone is going to have to go home and live with themselves saying, Sylvester Stallone just walked home with an acting Oscar.
He's wonderful in the movie, I have to say. You know what?
Yeah, but
that's one of the 10
Sylvester
best
Stallone?
motion pictures of the year.
An acting Oscar? They'll give it to him for the original
Actually,
Oscar for writing it.
They've stooped lower to do that for people before. Come on, it's just it's too good a Hollywood story.
And this is not a big dig against Sylvester Stallone, but I'm saying, is everyone else going to be comfortable voting for Sylvester Stallone to win an acting
Apparently
Oscar?
so. He's won all kinds of them. He's won all kinds of awards this season for it. He took enough Golden Globe voters.
Well, then that might be his payback. Is you did very well, but is it Oscar worthy? You think so?
If not, it's going to be Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy is where I'm going.
Because he's just so happening right now. I love him so much.
And he was in Mad Max, but in Mad Max he was kind of a supporting character in his own story. It was really Charlize Theron,
even with the teeth. I love him so much.
And it was really the world of Mad Max. So I think it's going to go to Tom Hardy.
Well, see, now we can say right now, because there could be a trend one way or the other. I think that it could be we're going to have a Revenant evening, which would be so boring, or I'm telling you, we could have a Mad Max evening.
We will get to that.
We could have a Mad Max
I think Revenant's not going to go empty-handed.
Oh, no.
But I think Tom Hardy would be an excellent choice. Christian Bale, good, but
wonderful.
He was good, but not.
That's a strong.
He's not going to take on the Oscar.
That's a strong list.
Mark Rylance is good. Sylvester Stallone.
Very.
The only competition he really has might be Mark Ruffalo, but it's really just based on that one scene. There was one scene in there where you could tell like they're going. This is Oscar. This is Oscar gold right here.
You're going to give it to Sylvester Stallone. You've got to. You've got to.
I don't have to. They might, but I'm going to go with Tom Hardy on this. All right. Best Supporting Actress. It could go either way. It could go anyway. I don't know. Is there a leader? I haven't been watching any buzz or anything.
Well, I'm sorry. I lost my glasses, so I've got to use my cheaters.
All right. We got our cheat sheet.
I don't want it to go to Rooney because I just don't want. I think that it's going to go to either. Well, it is going to go to either Alicia Vikander for the Danish Girl or Kate Winslet. And my guess is the young lady from the Danish Girl is going to win, who's also the young lady in Ex Machina, and she's happening.
Yes.
And that's
she was wonderful in
I kind of think that's going to happen.
Ex Machina. Yeah. I don't see Jennifer Jason Leigh. I don't see Rachel McAdams.
Although she's wonderful.
Again, good, but I just don't see taking home the gold. Probably if I had to guess, because it's really even, but if I had to guess, I would also say Alicia Vikander. That'd be my guess. Cool. All right. Let's move on. Visual effects. Now this covers a wide range, because we got the Ex Machina, which was used to make a human person look like a robot. And you've got Mad Max Fury Road, which is it's everything. It's the environment. It's the stunts. It's creating that whole world. The Martian, which is basically creating a whole planet. And then you've got the Revenant. The Revenant is subtle because most of the special effects are meant to not be seen. You don't realize they're special effects. It's cutting one shot into another shot and then helping fill in the environment to make it look harsher and colder. And then, of course, you've got Star Wars, which did remarkably well. I think this Oscar season got 5 nominations, all for like technical categories and such. So do you have a preference of where you think it's going to go? I don't think Revenant's going to get this one.
I think, again, that Mad Max is the Bernie Sanders of this Oscar race. I really do. I think it's the same kind of, about the same odds of making a run and being sort of like a, whoa. I do, and I think that this is the kind of place it's going to, that this is the category. Look, there's obviously a groundswell for it because it got nominated for all those awards. Awards that you would not have thought they would have recognized that. So there's a passion for it.
I did not think when I saw how many it was nominated for, I'm like, excellent, because that was some of the most fun I had this year at the movies. So I think it's going to go to Mad Max.
I'd like that.
All the other movies are fine, but Star Wars, I don't think Star Wars had much new that you haven't seen already in a Star Wars movie or another sci-fi
Unless they do
movie.
Look, we're going to give you this one and thank you, we're glad you're back.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
I don't either.
I think $2 billion says we're glad you're back. That's what I think. So let's give it to Mad Max. That's what I would like to see. That would be great. Alrighty. Also, makeup and hairstyling. There's only 3 categories. Again, The Revenant is in there, but that's just everybody growing beards. There's a movie no one's heard of, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and disappeared. I think this is going to go to Mad Max World again.
I do too.
Creating that world.
I do too. It's a wonderful movie,
and it's well thought out, and they brought it to life. I think this is also going to go to Mad Max. I think it's going to surprise a few people, but I really hope that's where it goes to.
That's what I would vote for.
Yeah,
that's what I would vote for Best Picture.
Well, let's get there. Let's get there. All right. Probably the most contested race. Original song.
It always goes to the 007 song.
Does it? It did for Adele. But remember last time you asked me?
Goldfinger.
Did that one Oscar?
Diamonds are forever, forever.
What about Thunderball?
Thunderball! Yes, I think that. Oh, and also.
I don't think I won. That's a fun song.
A View to a Kill.
Yeah, well, there's some that turned into huge pop songs. Yes, of course. But
usually,
I haven't.
What?
I've seen.
It's a pretty shoddy list.
Yeah, there's not that much on there.
It's a pretty shoddy list.
The only two that people have heard of are 50 Shades of Grey and Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fine song with Spectre, but is it going to take home the gold? Is it
Probably.
going to get it by default simply because no one has heard of any of these other songs?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I honestly, I
think so.
I don't know what to do because
I think
none of them stick. None of them come out and go, yeah, that hits it. The way Adele did, for instance, in the last James Bond movie. So,
well, and the other thing, there was no movie musical this year that they're like, oh, we better write an extra song so that we can get a nomination.
Right. Usually they do that. Usually, like, let's put this in this movie to at least get nominated, at least try for it. None of that. There was no like big musicals this year that would really hit, Mm-mm. So none of that.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
It's bleak.
Yeah, it really is. It's like best foreign film.
I don't know. Are they all going to be performed?
I've heard of Sweden. Let's mark that one. I've heard of the Spectre movie. Let's mark. It's anybody's game, really. Probably Spectre, simply because that's the one people know. So we'll see. Alrighty, moving on. We're doing good here. All right. Now comes an interesting category this year: Best Animated Feature Film.
Why is that interesting? Although I did see Anomalisa, and it is wonderful, but most people aren't going to like it, and it's not accessible to most people.
It's pretty heavy. Well, it's Charlie Kaufman, so one is just mind weird, and then this is stop motion like puppetry that's R-rated. It's not Team America happy on purpose silly.
It's up against one of the best written animated motion pictures ever. I think.
You're talking about when Marty was
Out. What? What's it called?
Shaun the Sheep movie, right?
I hate those movies.
What?
I don't know what it is. I hate those art movies. I hate them. I don't like them.
How could it?
I know.
Wallace and Gromit? Wallace and Gromit is fantastic.
I tell you, 10 minutes in, I'm always...
Curse of the Were-Rabbit was pure genius.
I'm out 15 minutes in. It's just completely...
Really?
And why do you do them in... That's what I was like about Anomalisa, because it's such a...
It's a big risk. It was a big undertaking to get this story up and running in that form.
Well, and not only that, it's like there's nothing... You could absolutely simulate everything that they're doing now,
right,
by computer, and not go through the complete... Which is what makes it art.
Yeah, well, it seems like something you could do. You could have shot that movie live action. I feel like if you're going to do something...
Yeah, but then it just would have been, like, creepy.
Well, it already is.
I know, but...
Maybe the puppet kind of takes away from that realism.
It's about a one-night stand in a hotel.
But you could...
Basically.
If you're going to use animation, it should be a story that's best told in that medium, So...
Anyway, Inside Out is a marvelous motion picture, animated or not.
No, it's wonderful, yeah. But again, that's because of the story they're telling that needs to be animated.
And better than some of the films that are nominated for Best Motion Picture.
Inside Out, I would have been fine if that was nominated.
Inside Out
probably would have been number 10.
Bridge of Spies.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I do.
I don't know. I thought they're both well done. But we did our review of Bridge of Spies.
Overrated.
It's your standard Steven Spielberg. It's almost as if there was Spielberg Factory. That would be
an outstanding achievement in film.
It's very well done.
A very competent.
It's competent,
expert,
but yeah, I don't know if I would nominate it for Best
Special.
Picture. I don't know if I would nominate it for Best Picture. But like you said, they love Spielberg.
They love him,
and if it's a good movie,
they love.
Why not? Can't go wrong. But if I had to re-rate it, I put Inside Out at least in the top 10. Yeah, very well done. It's probably going to win unless something out of the blue happens. But
there's some overrated things in that list for best film, though.
The Shaun the Sheep movie. He's usually very good. I have not seen it, so I honestly can't speak.
I saw it. Well, I slept in the last time.
But I do love Aardman. animation. Now, the last Wallace and Gromit short was a little... It got nominated, but we saw it like, this is weird. So, I can't speak for that. But I'm fine with Inside Out. I would be very happy with that one. All right. Well, let's skip on down to some of the bigger categories. Let's skip on down to, let's see, screenplay. Original screenplay. So we've got Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, and Straight Outta Compton. Its only nomination.
Well, okay, but that would be stupid. Because that's not its best thing, you know.
Right.
So if you're going to pick anything to, you know, I think it's going to go to Spotlight.
I think so too. I really think so. I think the story itself is well done.
Tough to tell.
And an important story. Yeah, I think out of all of these, I would give it to Spotlight. Something not only for the relevance and the importance of it, but it's really told well. The way it's built up, and then as the story progresses, how it kind of brings you into it. Yeah, I would agree with that. Spotlight, definitely for original. All right, let's move on to adapted. Now we've got The Big Short, Brooklyn, Carol, The Martian, and Room.
Okay, I think Brooklyn is an overrated film. And you know what? For many of the same reasons that you selected Spotlight, I'm going to pick The Big Short.
I think The Big Short is
tough to write, tough to pull off.
Yeah,
beautifully done.
Yeah, it's got a very interesting style. Very interesting, where it's unusual, but it uses a lot of film techniques that you don't often see.
Well, because it's such a complicated issue that there's times where they basically go...
They stop and go,
okay, this is what this is.
Yes.
Just because it's such nonsense. So this would be like if we robbed you, and which is highly effective.
Yes, and it's extremely unusual, but you're all right, I'll go along with you. You know, they set it up that we're gonna get a little crazy here. But trust us, it's gonna be worth the ride. Yeah, I would give that to The Big Short as well. Awesome. Alrighty, good. All right, moving on to directing. Now this is interesting. This is where it gets really interesting. All right, so we got The Big Short, Adam McKay, who really isn't known for Oscar-nominated movies. This is like his first big foray into that, so that's good. George Miller for Mad Max: Fury Road, and I just didn't realize this. He also did Babe. He also produced Babe, the little pig that wants to be a sheepdog. Yeah. Absolutely, almost perfection in the movie, and then I'm like, that was the Mad Max guy, so that was very interesting. So yeah, very talented. And then last year's winner for the Revenant, Alejandro D. Oh, I'm gonna screw this up. I'm sorry. Iñárritu. Yes, thank you. I won't try that again. And then Lenny Abrahamson for Room, one of our favorite movies, and then Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. So all of these well-crafted movies, very well done. Who was your favorite? Who do you want to win?
That would be a really, really tough call. That would be a really, 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 really tough call. I should have thought that through by now.
Do you want me to? I'll start.
You go.
I'm going to start. I'm going to say The Big Short. I'm going to say The Big Short. I don't know if Mad Max has the director behind it, even though it is a wonderful vision. And
yeah, but he's old and...
Yeah, I don't know if they want to give it to him. He did win for Babe, so that's nice.
I think the director of Revenant's got an awfully big inside shot.
But he won last year for Birdman, and Birdman shouldn't have won.
Hey, there you go with that shouldn't have thing again.
He shouldn't have won. Birdman was not the best picture last year.
I think that there's a good shot that we're going to have a Mad Max evening.
So you're going to pick George Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
If not...
If it didn't go to Adam McKay, I would want it to go to George Miller. Yeah. But I think just the style of The Big Short, the way they explain the story, and the way they kind of bring you out of it and then push you back into it.
I won't be sorry.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful direction.
I won't be sorry.
Yeah, it might also win for editing. Is that
yes.
Is it nominated for editing as well? Just to be double check that. Yeah, I think it might win for editing as well, because it's very cleverly done, and there are a lot of information in a short little bit.
Of course, if there's not just a Revenant, you know.
Right. I think we've only mentioned it once with Tom Hardy.
It's because we...
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other categories in here, like film editing and things
lots
like
of
that.
things.
Yes. Yeah. Alrighty, so you're going to go with George Miller. I'm going to go with Adam McKay for The Big Short. Alrighty, so then that brings us to...
Then we're going with who we want, I think, and not who we think will win, but all right.
Yeah, sometimes I do who I think is going to win, and sometimes it's who I want. So it's never just one or the other. Like, this one I got to go with my heart. This one, this is who's going to get it. You know? So it depends. All right, so Best Picture, Achievement in Motion Picture Making
There isn't a lot of passion this year about any one or two of them.
Well, I think what makes the race interesting is that they're relatively even movies. There isn't like the one or two that like this is what we love, this is what we want to reward. They're all kind of, and they're not like all way up here. They're all like just below that. They're all like right here.
What movie are people going to be watching
20
of that list of motion pictures?
Of this one?
Of best films. Which one or two of those films are people going to put in and watch at home 20 years from now?
That would be The Big Short and Mad Max, maybe The Martian.
I think Mad Max is the only one.
I would love if Mad Max won. I just don't think it's going to.
I keep telling you, it's the Bernie Sanders of, even though I'm going to vote for Hillary. I'm just saying, it's sort of.
I would love if it won. I think that would open up the door to make more movies like just go crazy, but create a solid world. That was the most interesting thing about Mad Max, is that this was an entire world. Even though you're only seeing that section of it in that story, the culture was well thought out. They were doing stuff that like, what is the motivation behind that? But it was obviously part of their world, part of their culture. That's how they lived. That's how they did things then. In this story, in this world that he created, so well done that you believe
from the first second.
From the first second.
I mean, it's like
yeah, you believe that you were brought into this alternate reality,
and it's relentless.
And yes, it's a 90-minute chase. It's wonderfully done. And it's relatively. I think it kind of had that same impact a little bit that Speed did, where it was a fairly simple story. A fairly simple story, but it's the setup, it's the pace, and you hit the ground running and you keep running. I would like it if it wins. However, I think it's going to go to The Big Short, or I would like to see it go to.
So you're dealing with, we're talking about electability. Then yes. they could completely disappoint all of us.
I hope it's not The Revenant. The Revenant is extremely well done.
Oh, Steven, Bridge of Spies, we love you.
I don't see him winning for Bridge of Spies. No, I'm not. It's
well, because this film could get really split up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not Lincoln. It's not Schindler's List. It's standard. It's standard Spielberg fare, which is really good.
Yeah.
He's excellent, but. We've seen this. What else have you got? What's new?
It's like a Hyatt. You always know it's going to be the robe at the Hyatt. But it's going to be good.
But it's like the Denver, Colorado Hyatt. It's not like the Dubai Hyatt.
Okay, but yeah, I was just going to say, would you even stay at the Hyatt if you went to?
If it was in Dubai, because I might need something more reasonable there.
All right.
I'm just saying. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to go with. But if Mad Max does win, I will be yes. Well done. But I think it's going to be The Big Short.
The evening is going to start on a tense cushion of pins because...
Well, I think they're going to hope Chris Rock.
Because he's got to walk out there and... Would you like to be him?
Well, I think he said he's going to step up to the challenge. He's already writing new stuff to address the controversy.
Well, they have to.
And he's never been one to shy away from controversy. So I think it's going to be very interesting. A lot of nervous laughter to start.
Right, because exactly.
Yeah.
And he's not going to want to come off like a minstrel, so he's going to have to be edgy.
And he doesn't, when you don't want to come out swinging either.
Right, because
those are the people that make the money.
He's honored to be asked.
Yeah, those are the money people.
It's a horrible situation to be in.
He's like, bring it on. Let's do our best.
You know what? And you got to hand it to him because nobody would have blamed him for saying, not this year.
Yeah.
Nobody would have blamed him.
Like, I'm here and I'm doing it, and I'm very curious to see what he says. I bet it's going to be great. So there you have it. Those are our picks for the Oscar nominees this year.
I'm hoping for a Mad Max night.
I would love that as well. I also think The Big Short was fantastic. It should be rewarded as well. Lots of good stuff in here.
And as you said, Spotlight, important.
Spotlight also, yeah. Spotlight should win as well because it deserves it. It earned it. Alrighty. Well, I think we did well.
Do you think so?
I think so. All right. And once again, thank you for our lovely decoration. I had thought about making the Lego one from last year, but some kids stole my Legos. And I find that little kid. Anyway, alrighty. So, well, thank you for watching. I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this has been
Talking During the Movie. It's clay and love. Clay and love and misguided dreams.
That should be a t-shirt. Clay and love and misguided.
And misguided.